Second hole, maybe not her best, but nonetheless, a lot of people, keen observers of the game, experts, professionals, say she's never looked more comfortable over the putter than she does with this new putter that's really helped her alignment. This one should work just a little right.
Yeah, she's chopped and changed the putters a little bit over the last few years, but has found something here that she likes. Doesn't like that one though. Now Charlie Hull for a birdie at the first.
I don't see hardly any break in this putt.
And nor did she. Good birdie for Charlie Hull. Loves playing tree-lined courses, and that's what we have here in the desert. Grew up playing at Woburn, which is very much a tree-lined course, an hour or so north of London. And Charlie Hull, who's played well here in the past, off to a good start. It is day 2 of the first major of the season, the ANA Inspiration.
Today's coverage is brought to you by ANA, Inspiration of Japan, CME Group, how the world advances, and by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
Back at the ANA Inspiration here in Rancho Mirage, a beautiful day here. Temperatures in the 90s once again this afternoon. And Sang-Hyun Park, the world number 4. This her second to the 7th hole.
An awkward one here, Tom. Ball is above her feet. Hole location tucked on the right side. Helpful if you've got a short shot in, you can hit it high like she does.
Wow.
That's pretty clever.
That's not easy from that lie. And that should be a guaranteed birdie for Park. Let's go to the 14th.
And a birdie putt for former world number 1, former ANA champion Yanni Sen. Still just 29 years old, 11th season, burst onto the scene, became number 1 in the world.
And I think driving is the biggest key to why she's not still up there. Really struggling to keep it in play.
About bursting onto the scene, 15-year-old Ataya Titikul, one of our 7 amateurs in the field. How impressive were the amateurs on Thursday?
Oh, I mean, some great golf. I mean, Alba and Valenzuela, I mean, what a great round of golf that was.
She shot 5 under. Let's take a look at the amateur leaderboard. Alban Valenzuela with the 67. She'll go off at 4:30, of course. Lucy Lee with 4 birdies. Rose Zhang, who won the ANA Junior Inspiration on Sunday, didn't even know she was in the field until she got it done there on Sunday. Welcome to Rancho Mirage, day 2 of the ANA Inspiration. You've slept on a lead at a major championship. You've won a major championship. How impressive was hole number 1 for Pernilla Lindberg after what probably was not a very restful night?
No, I mean, luckily it was just a short one, so she didn't have too long to think about it, and being off early in the morning also helps. If she's in this position on Sunday, you have all morning to think about it, all night to think about it, and it can wear you out just a little bit. The closer you get to the finish line, the more pressure you start to feel. So right now, she can handle it, not too bad, and these early conditions being softer going to help her a little bit as well. She can still attack those flags.
Lexi Thompson with 3 good looks so far.
Yeah, it's not been bad. I mean, she's hit good drives, good second shots. She's putting herself in position. And the putts have been pretty good too. They haven't been really horrible putts and just not quite reading them just right. And course conditions very different this morning to when she played in the afternoon. And I think just a little bit of dew on the greens makes them just that hair slower first thing in the morning.
Interesting, Michelle, we talked about the spins that she was feeling yesterday. A little dizzy, didn't play very well, shot 75. Here we are on the tee at the par 5 second, and Kay Cockrell is watching our leader, Pernilla Lindberg.
Straight away, par 5, which, Karen, I think is going to be out of reach for Pernilla to get there in 2. She doesn't have a lot of firepower, usually relying on ground tumble to get some extra distance.
And that's where she'd notice a difference, Kay, from yesterday afternoon. In the afternoon, the ball was rolling very quickly down the fairways. This morning, still a bit damp out there. And even if you can't get there in 2, positional on that second hole is so important.
To 1.
We've heard it many times this week from players. Fairways, fairways, fairways. You've got to stay out of the rough. Beatrice Riccari has not done that on number 1, and some of the rough on the first is pretty juicy. Can't even see the ball here for Riccari.
Yeah, that was just needing a shovel to get that one out. That was very thick and juicy, but she's left it in a good spot. If you can't get there, leave it in a good spot.
Sung Hyun Park hit 16 of 18 greens in round 1, leading the field. And that's a green in regulation there, and a birdie. So a good start for Sung Hyun Park, co-winner of the Rolex Player of the Year in 2017 with Sung Young Yu. There they are at the Rolex Award celebration at the end of the year. And Sung Hyun Park also captured the Louise Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year. Lexi Thompson had the lowest scoring average. That goes along with the Bear Trophy. Race to the CME Globe was Lexi Thompson.
And this is at the 4th, and Michelle Wee gouging one out of the rough, Jerry.
And did extremely well to get it right near that front left edge. It's still going to be a lot of work remaining, but that was a horrible, horrible lie after a wild right tee shot.
Makes me nervous when I see a player who's oft injured going so hard out of the thick rough like that. Michelle Wee. She was a little dizzy, Jerry, yesterday.
Yes, she was. We didn't know it till she was done and playing with the spin, seeing 5 golf balls. Her dad said, doctor said it was probably just a virus. Still dizzy today.
35, so head wedge, like bring it down long. You know what I mean? If it jumps a little bit. I'm just gonna hit this. Okay, I like that. Right, hit it right. Exactly.
Now Lexi.
130 yards, uphill shot, pretty severe uphill lie right against the seam of the first cutter rough. Counts as a fairway hit, but it's not a shot you practice. A little 9-iron.
Whole location today, just hanging off the back edge.
Needs to go. It's got so steep on that, almost a little heavy.
Okay, so 3 good looks at birdie, couldn't convert any of them. Now she's found the bunker. You may be able to see the ball there right of the green. We go to the tee at the 8th, and now just 1 shot off the lead. Sung Hyun Park missed her first cut as an LPGA Tour member, although it's just her 2nd year out here, last week.
Hits it very high, able to get plenty of spin on her shots.
She said she used the extra time, not having to play the weekend, to get herself mentally and physically ready for this week. It appears to have worked. She is 1 shot off the lead. Pernilla Lindberg is playing the 2nd hole. Day 2 of the ANA Inspiration from Rancho Mirage here in the desert of California. At the 4th, Lexi Thompson.
Pretty decent lie in the bunker, plenty of green with which to work. Not too poorly done there. Michelle Lee played a beautiful pitch prior to that from short of the green to about 3 or 4 feet.
Those were 3rd shots on this par 4, so par putts coming up.
And not really a surprise to see the players just tending to err on the side of short on that back hole location, because now they've got a putt that should be uphill.
Let's go to the 1st.
We saw Beatrice Riccari in the rough. Came up short of the green, now has this for par. 3-time winner on the LPGA Tour. She says if she's going to win a major, she feels like it would be this one. Loves this course.
It's amazing to me, Tom, because a lot of players feel that way about here, and whether it's because a lot of them have come through qualifying school, LPGA qualifying school here, and have had good memories from this area, because that's, you know, part of the reason to them actually being on tour is getting their card here. But especially players from Europe, love this place.
You mentioned the Q School. The first stage of LPGA Q School is traditionally held here at Mission Hills in August. It's so hot when they play they have to use golf carts, and they have to put towels on the seats of the golf carts because they bake in the sun and get so hot you can't sit.
It was my first experience of desert golf, coming over here and qualifying school, and just that very same thing. It was crazy hot. I won it by 8 shots, and hence the reason why I always felt like this was the major that I would win. I didn't feel the British Open was the one it would be this one.
Sung-Hyun Park at the 8th. A palm tree shadow and cast on this green. She's got this for a share of the lead.
And what we've got to watch out for with Sung-Hyun Park's putting is that she does have a tendency to stand a little bit too close to it. It causes her to want to push the putts a bit. So crowding the ball is not such a good thing, and you can watch where her eyes are, and they are slightly outside where the ball is, and that's not a great position to putt from.
She didn't even look at it after it left the putter face. Now she's got a look of about 5 feet for par. To the par 5 second, third shot for Pernilla Lindberg.
A little unlucky the ball's above her feet, does not have a good level lie. Caught that one cleanly. I'm probably a little surprised that checked up and sat down so quickly.
Last time she played that hole, that would have bounced on later in the day, in the afternoon.
Par putt for Lexi Thompson at the 4th.
Slightly uphill, turning a little bit left. And that looked left early.
So 8 putts in her first 4 holes. 3 good looks at birdie that she couldn't quite convert. Hit some good putts that didn't go in. Now a 2-putt bogey. Second bogey of the week. Third shot at the par 5 second for Charlie Hull.
Her ball was sitting down in a little depression, so smartly just kind of hit it heavy out, Karen, and let it release.
So a lot of players are saying that the sand in his bunkers is quite tricky this week, very soft and fluffy, and it can sit down.
After the nice par save at the first, back on the tee at the second, and Ricare 2 back. How about the little trigger before she takes the club back?
It really is a reminder of where she wants to be at impact. She wants to set herself up. It's just a little mental cue so that she goes through that same position as the club's coming through. The reason for doing it is that her hips are stopping at impact. She wants to try and keep them moving.
Michelle Wie for par at the 4th.
Then a nice par would be pretty straight up the hill.
Top 70 and ties will make the cut. At the moment, the cut line is even par, so Michelle has some work to do. To the second, and a birdie putt here for Pernilla Lindberg. Kay, what have been your impressions of Pernilla the last few years watching her on the LPGA Tour?
Well, I think she's essentially a very optimistic, happy-go-lucky person. She's a bit intense on the golf course and a bit fidgety. And I noticed today she was warming up. She appeared quite nervous, and rightly so. I think she tends to overthink things and try to be too perfect. And she even said in her press conference her goal is to try to swing more freely and not be so restricted, which she tends to get out on the golf course.
I think that's one of the battles that a lot of golfers have to face, is the control thing. It's like you play golf because you can control it. It's like you're the only person that has a club in their hands and is hitting the shot control. But when you play your best, you play out of control. You let everything go. There is no fear of the result.
It's easy in theory, hard to put into practice.
Tap in, par to the 5th.
Paula Creamer for a birdie.
She's worked really hard on her putting, particularly this week. She's in a completely new setup position, hands a little bit more forward, and she's trying to make sure that her head doesn't fall back as she's coming through the stroke.
We go back to the 8th, and this is the par putt for Sung-Hyun Park to stay 1 back. You can see just how close she is to the ball there. Curls that one in. She was one of 5 players last year to reach number 1 in the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings. Back to the fifth.
This was just a moment ago, Michelle Wee's tee shot.
Went with 8-iron, Tom, not a breath of wind. And while this was in the air, I was wondering if there might be a hole-in-one prize here.
Sadly, there is no prize at the fifth hole, but a hole-in-one's a pretty good prize in a major championship without any goodies to go along with it. Good chance for a 2 for Michelle. Now Lexi.
Hole playing 41 yards shorter than yesterday. Great variety in this par 3 in just 2 days. This is center of the green.
Yeah, yesterday it was 198. They moved the tee back and the hole to the back of the green. Today 157.
At the second, Charlie Hull for birdie.
Trying to make it a birdie start. A little right to left movement on this putt. And she never got it high enough.
Solheim Cup participant. Obviously not match play, but she does get to play with the leader. And she will remain 3 shots back of Pernilla Lindberg. Sung Hyun Park with a nice par save at the 8th. She goes to the par 5 9th. Park a big hitter. Lindberg remains on top. On day 2 of the ANA Inspiration, she'll move to the 3rd when we come back to Rancho Mirage.
Through the leaves across the water at the 5th green, where Lexi Thompson has a putt for a birdie.
Probably 30, 35 feet. In general, a little uphill, mostly at the end. It should be turning slightly left, but right at the hole and near the hole, there's a little slope that comes off that front left bunker that might push it back to the right in the opposite direction of that mythical Indio effect.
I could never figure out where Indio was. But I always had a good eye for reading the putts. They just seemed to want to. They seemed to be quite true to what I saw.
Well, all putts break downhill. I think David Faraday and I agree on that. Whether you're breaking away from Pinnacle Peak in Phoenix or toward Indio here in the Coachella Valley, all putts break downhill.
Indio is away in the distance there in the Salton Sea. And the towns of the Coachella, the cities of the Coachella Valley, work their way down that view there towards the water. We're in Rancho Mirage, beautiful part of the world. Little Lindbergh's tee shot at the third.
A good looking tee shot at the start with a little draw. Just depends where it ends up down that hill.
Yeah, it's going to be down just about on the flat and in the fairway. And we'll go back over to the fifth. Great chance for a birdie for Wee.
Well, sometimes reading the greens when they're this quick is tough for a lot of players, but when you're feeling the effects of a little dizziness, it's got to be nearly impossible.
Tough when there are 5 golf balls out there.
Well, no, that's easy. 4 makes it tough. 5, you just hit the one in the middle.
Have you ever experienced that, Jerry?
Most of the guys I play with, it's normal.
Par 3, 8th, former #1 area. Jatanagarn needs to play well these next 3 hours if she wants to make the cut.
That's a good start there.
Back to 5.
Lexi's 73rd in par 3 scoring average this year, Jerry.
And that's unusual because she's such a great ball striker. This one, she got a little bit of a teach from Michelle. She knows it's pretty speedy from this angle.
Made 2 birdies on the par 3s yesterday. One of them came here. And that is not good from Lexi. That's kind of been her nemesis at times. The short putts missed. Over at the 9th. Sunken Park second.
Very nice.
Really good flowing follow through.
Oh, that could be really good. Wait until you see where that hole is. Now Lexi for the bogey.
Well, this is going to be a test for her now. Easy. Very easy to get rattled after 2 straight bogeys and a little miss putt like that. But she's faced tougher hills to climb in the past.
What do you see here, Karen?
It just is she's a little bit up on it as she's hitting the ball. So instead of trying to keep the putter a little lower through, just kind of picks it up.
So Lexi now 5 shots off the lead. Beatrice Riccari at the par 5 second, 3rd shot. And a good look at birdie. And a chance to get within 1 of Lindbergh, who's at the 3rd.
Second shot.
Tom, a bit unlucky in that her ball did not travel out another 8 or 10 yards because she has a bit of a downhill lie. And unlike when you have the downhill lie and sort of the ball's below your feet, the ball is kind of above her feet, so it's going to be nearly impossible for her to work the ball towards this front right hole location. She's got an 8-iron, which also will be de-lofted a bit off this downhill lie. So I would imagine Karen just aiming 20 feet or so left of the flag.
And that's exactly right. Really important to stick to that target and commit to it too. Don't be distracted by trying to push it to the target, or to the flag, because that's when you can miss it right.
You have to take what the golf course gives you.
There's going to be a lot of patience involved in playing this course today. That the hole locations are different from where I've seen them in the past, just slightly off, much nearer the edges, and I think it's going to cause the players a little bit of stress out there. You've got to be patient.
Yeah, we had an indication that was going to happen when we talked to the officials on Wednesday, because of the wind not really being much of a factor here as Inji Chun plays at the 7th. They said they have the ability to put the holes in some trickier spots.
It's one of the things that Judy made reference to yesterday, was that this golf course, when there's no wind and there's not a massive amount of rough, can be out there for the taking.
Charlie Hull.
Yeah, and there's an example. She was 10 yards ahead, had a flat lie, and a good pitching wedge.
At the 8th area, Jatanagarn to get back to +1. There are 71 players at even par or better, and area creeps closer to the cut line. 3 under par is the best score on the course so far on day 2. That belongs to Marina Alex. Lindbergh, solid start. She maintains her lead. Sung Hyun Park has an eagle putt for the lead at the 9th when we come back to the ANA Inspiration. At the 6th hole, NB Park for birdie to get to 3 under.
And I think that the way this course is set up today really kind of favours NB in many ways. She's so good at staying within herself, staying within her game, not being fazed by course conditions, and really doesn't pay attention to anybody else but herself.
Pernilla Lindbergh going to get the pace right here, Kay.
Good luck to Pernilla on this one. It's going to take all of her touch and feel and creativity to get this close.
Now it's going to put on the brakes. That's not too bad, Kay.
Not at all. Gives her a legit chance at 2-putting.
See if Lexi Thompson can get something going here, Jerry, at the 6th.
Yeah, it's a nice club for the yardage, 156. Pretty smooth 8-iron. Just a little right of the hole in line with Michelle's approach shot. There's a good chance under the hole as well.
She will twist and turn. Think about Vijay Singh on the men's side. You'll think, oh boy, he's lost that one. No, it's actually pretty good. She'll have that for birdie off a couple of bogeys in a row, and here's a look in slow-mo.
Well, one of the biggest reasons why Lexi Thompson is one of the longest drivers on the LPGA Tour is the separation that she gets, the angle from her hips, and then the angles of her shaft on the downswing. Just very impressive. Back
we go to the 2nd, and a birdie putt for Spain's Beatriz Macari.
she knew she hadn't allowed enough break, and she tried to push it just at the last minute, and still not enough, hence the lack of speed, because just wasn't very committed on that line.
To the 9th.
Sung Yoon Park for an eagle. Certainly gave it a try.
Well, and she does have that little bit of a right miss in the putts right now, something that she might want to think about later.
Charlie Hull for a birdie at the 3rd.
Oh, good look at birdie. This should drift a little right. No, and it looks like it didn't do much, did it?
One of the hardest holes on the golf course. 2nd hardest hole today so far. 3rd hardest overall. Just 1 birdie at the 3rd today. At the 5th, Nelly Corder to get to 4 under. It was all about her sister yesterday. Remember, she started the day on a tear with those 4 straight birdies.
And it's really nice to see Nelly and Jessica out here. They really do have a lot of fun being out here supporting each other. It's really very cute.
Lindbergh for a par.
Her first big test of the round. And answers it very well.
Yeah, that's a really good 2-putt. That'll calm her down a little bit. And a solid start for Pernilla Lindbergh. 3 straight pars, having led by 1 for the first time in a major overnight.
At the 6th, Michelle Wie needs to make some birdies.
Yes, she does. This one should be turning a little left, slightly uphill at the end.
There's one.
I think it's something to bear in mind too, that the players playing today feel like they have to make birdies, they have to catch up to what's going on, yet the course isn't really set up for that. It's playing tricks with the players right now,
Yeah,
mentally.
different feel today.
Yeah.
Lexi?
Oh, if that kept up the speed a little more, that would have been money as well.
2 over for the day, 2 under for the championship, 5 shots off the lead. A lot of golf to come on the third.
Another missed fairway for Beatrice Riccari. And she's got a long way to go. She's got a long club. That looks like a hybrid.
I suspect, though, Tom, and it's a good thing to do with those hybrids, is that you can play little punchy shots with them just to get the ball out and chasing up the fairway towards the green, as she did there. The lie is just very difficult for somebody like Beatrice to get an iron onto, essentially.
Former #1 in the world, Stacey Lewis, snapped that long victory drought last summer in Portland. And a long putt for birdie at the 8th. A few weeks ago, pulled an oblique muscle in a practice session and hasn't played since.
And she hasn't hit many drivers before coming into this week, so not surprisingly a little bit rusty.
Par 4 10th, our co-leader Sung-Hyun Park, and we'll take a look at this tee shot with our TrackMan Tracer technology presented by NEC. Power to spare with this young player.
Yes, she does, and she does it in a very similar manner to Lexi, not in standing on your toes, but just how the hips turn so quickly through, creating lots of angles and resistance and centrifugal force, essentially.
Well, she was last year's Co-Player of the Year, and Jin Young Ko, is leading in the Rolex Player of the Year standings currently. We asked some of the players this week who they think could be this year's Player of the Year.
For Player of the Year, there's so many talented players out on the LPGA Tour. I feel like a handful, even 10 players could definitely win that award this year.
I think maybe Lexi will have a big chance this year because she came really close last year.
I would say Lexi. I think she showed, so much promise over the last season.
I think Michelle Way might do. I think she'll have a very good year this year. I think if Inby Park can stay healthy and keeps playing, that girl, you can't stop her.
There's a lot of young talent out there this year. It's literally anyone's game. Hopefully it's going to be me, but I should work harder.
So, you shared the title.
So not a fair question to ask them. They all want to be Player of the Year.
Who do you like, Tom? You have a pick?
Jin Young Ko right now, but there's a long way to go. Paula Creamer for a birdie. It would appear that it is going to be a wide open race this year for Rolex Player of the Year. I'm not very good at predicting winners. Missed opportunity there for Paula, but she remains at 3 under, back to 6.
And Nelly Korda, off to a great start. One of the few players with multiple birdies here on day 2. 3 off the lead. And what a shot.
Another good one there. She's working on keeping her swing just a little bit shorter at the top.
Has a chance to join her sister Jessica at 5 under. Here's our leader, co-leader, Lindberg.
Grant, it's her first fairway she's missed today, and she's being punished for it. Nasty lie in this gnarly rough. A little bit of the edge of the eucalyptus trees to think about.
That did sound thick.
Safely on, but a long way away. That is nearly 50 feet. Pernilla Lindberg, 31 years old, from Bollnäs, Sweden, played collegiately at Oklahoma State like her fellow countrywoman Caroline Hedwall. That's where the NCAA championships, which you can see on Golf Channel in May, will be held. Karsten Creek, 9th year on the LPGA Tour, looking for her first victory. There's another terrific collegiate star, Tom.
Speaking of NCAA champions, it's Emma Talley, leaning like it's going right, but not too far right. That's a good shot. Rookie this year on the LPGA Tour. And she is currently 4th in the Rolex Rookie of the Year standings. To the 10th.
And Sung-Hyun Park, tied for the lead at 7 under. Second shot here from the fairway at the 10th.
She needs to fly all the way to the back shelf of this green. Hole is all the way at the back, just 3 from the right. You can see she's trying to work it to the right.
Yes.
This looks like the Sung-Hyun Park that we saw last year. She has not gotten off to a great start. This year we mentioned the missed cut last week. To 3.
Beatrice Ricari just coming up short of the green, and Karen, you said it was a pretty good play, and she can get the putter on it now.
Very, very smart play, and something for everybody watching at home. You know, if you experiment with using the hybrid from different yardages from the rough, really helps.
Oh, she loved it. It just needed a fraction more. Really good try from Beatrice. I'll zoom in there, so it might fall in, but I think it's a bit too far short to do that.
Yeah, and I think it's the hole's tilted the wrong way for it to fall in as well.
Gosh, if she needed to, she might be able to pick up satellite television with that putter. Look at that head. Huge mallet. Now Michelle Weiss, second at the 7th.
128 going with a big full wedge, and it looks like enough. Well, that landed much softer than I think we're going to see this afternoon for that front hole location, because that lands on a bit of a downslope right there.
Michelle fighting her way back. The cut is currently at even par. 74 players in at even, and it's been holding steady at level par. Michelle still feeling a little under the weather. Dizzy spells. And it is getting warmer and warmer as the minutes tick by. Most players have been taking shelter either under the trees or under their umbrellas. Now Lexi.
Ball above her feet, 111 yards. I have right to the hole. This is a gap wedge, right hole location. Really tough to get it close with a lofted club and this much of a side hill lie. And conversely, pretty easy to make a mistake by trying to force one close.
Helps if you can grip down on the shaft, trying to level it out some.
We don't want to go long here. That spin is going to help her no end.
Well, and just that left was the factor of how much the ball was above her feet.
It's maybe the best worst shot I've ever seen. At the 4th, Pernilla Lindberg.
Being tested with her speed control early in this round. This about the same length putt, close to a 60-footer, all uphill.
Another little test coming up on what should be a day and perhaps a weekend full of them. At the 6th, Nelly Korda to join her sister Jessica and the others at -5. 5 birdies, or beg your pardon, 4 birdies in her first 6 holes. 19-year-old Nelly Korda, second year.
And a new putter in the bag. Normally uses a mallet style, has gone to a regular looking putter.
Now Emma Talley for her birdie.
Watched Emma win the NCAA championship at Concession a couple of years ago and played some really impressive golf on a tough golf course, one where you had to play very strategic golf. So she knows how to get the job done on a tough golf course.
At the 4th, Charlie Hull. Okay, nice start, Kay, for Charlie.
No, indeed. Birdieing half the holes that she's played.
On a Friday, like Charlie is doing today.
I think it's actually quite good for Charlie. I mean, Pernilla is a little slower player. She goes through the motions, and in many ways when you're playing in a 2, especially for Charlie, it might be slowing her down enough. Which
in a good way?
In a good way.
Okay.
Because I think Charlie can play very quickly, almost too quickly at times.
Sung-Hyun Park has a short putt at the 10th to go to 8 under, and this is the putt for Pernilla Lindberg to stay at -7.
And Karen, you're going to have these putts constantly throughout a major championship. Whether you strike the ball well or you have long birdie putts, and you better be well equipped to make these, and you have to welcome them.
You do. Every one of them is a challenge, and I find that the edges of the holes here are very stingy. They don't really want to allow the player in much, so you have to, make sure that you see the ball going in the middle of the hole.
She has said that her confidence has been boosted on the putting surfaces here because they are so pure. She feels like, you know, if you get rewarded with a good stroke.
Rewarded there 25 years ago. Helen Alfredsson won the ANA. Inspiration, of course, Annika, three-time champion from Sweden. We're at the 10th, and Sung-Hyun Park to take the lead outright. You knew it wouldn't be long before she began playing well again.
Well, no, she's just too good of a player.
Had a great chance to win the U.S. Women's Open in 2016, the one that Brittany Lang won over Anna Nordqvist. She did win last year with a tremendous up and down on the last hole. 7.
Lexi Thompson for birdie.
Needs to see something fall soon to exorcise those demons that can creep in. Oh, she hit such a good putt there, but it quit turning.
That looked in all the way from our angle.
The thing with Lexi's game is it can turn around very quickly. Like all of a sudden the putts start to drop, everything starts to happen for her. You know, there are some par 5s coming up that she'll be able to get to, and not all is lost yet.
Sung-Hyun Park leads by 1. We saw just how good she can be last year winning the US Women's Open. Lexi Thompson came so close to winning the ANA Inspiration last year for a second time. She is trying to get it done this year, but needs to turn things around today.
Who is he? Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to Rancho Mirage and round 2 of the ANA Inspiration. 7 under from Pernilla Lindberg, led after round 1. She has been passed by former number 1 in the world, Sung-Hyun Park, just 23 years old, 4 under on a round. Nelly Korda is 4 under, and this was just a moment ago at the 7th.
Michelle Weaver, a birdie.
Another good-looking stroke.
And another one drops for Weir. She tries to fight her way back into the A&A Inspiration after that tough day yesterday.
We're at the par 3 8th. This was just a moment ago. Paula Creamer has not made a cut yet this year. She comes back from injury.
Well, and a complete...
Hello!
And a complete makeover, swing-wise and fitness-wise, everything. She's made some really good changes, but still managed to keep that fire and fight that we've always seen in her.
It's not the longest putt she's made. We've seen her make one from, what, 75 feet, Tom?
In Singapore.
Yeah, to win in Singapore. Now, Charlie Hull on the tee at the 5th.
Well, Charlie with an 8-iron going right at it.
Yeah, aggressive play. We've seen some aggressive tee shots here today, Kay. Another good one. Sung Hyun Park on the tee at the 11th. They've moved the tee back today to its what they call the white line yardage. They put literally a white line at the back of the tee, and that's where they take the yardage from, so players can pace it off if they need to.
From this tee, Tom, it's a massive dog leg right, so you can take it over the trees, or you can try and hit a big cut.
Lexi Thompson 2 over today. Here she is at the 8th.
Trying to stretch out an 8-iron on this par 3. Michelle played first with a 7-iron, similar line.
You have to think that after yesterday's round, Lexi had to have had some kind of a little deflation, you know, like, oh, it's done, it's finally done, that first round's over. And so she's got to try and get herself back up again, I think.
Lindberg's tee shot at 5.
Going with one club more than Charlie. And kind of peeled that one off a little bit, but no harm.
Yeah.
Hole high right.
The middle of the green spot is pretty safe.
The Houston Open continues on Golf Channel and NBC today at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Tomorrow on NBC at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Phil Mickelson, Jordan Spieth among those teeing it up. The final tune-up to the men's first major of the year, the Masters, next week.
We mentioned Jessica Korda and that run of birdies that she had yesterday to start the round. Well, now her sister Nellie is trying to match that. This is for 4 birdies in a row at the 7th.
And it's quite nice because their games are very similar. They've got opposite tee times. I'm pretty sure they must be comparing. They could compare notes as to how the holes played in the morning, how the holes play in the afternoon.
Now Pernilla Lindberg for birdie at the 5th. Pernilla says she has a number in mind. Do you like that, Karen?
No, I'm not so keen on having numbers in mind at all. I think that you can only play the very best that you can play on any given day. If you give 100% over every single shot, it really doesn't matter what the score is on the card. You couldn't have done any better.
Sung Hyun Park second at 11.
She's going for it.
That is
my word.
Power. I mean, she almost flew it all the way there. She's hit every green today.
Well, and
5th on tour in greens and regulation.
Oh, and she got to 9 as well. I mean, 9's not an easy hole to get to. I mean, that's showing some versatility in her game. The 9th, massive dogleg left. The 11th, massive dogleg right. Still gets there in 2.
Yeah, very good point. I mean, it just shows you how good a player she is. We know that from the way she played last year, but just was sluggish at the beginning of 2018. Wasn't in that form that we saw at times last season, but she's found the form this week. Now Hull for a birdie.
That was such a hard putt to read. And it was always going to be very fast.
Birdie putt at the 4th hole for Beatriz Riccari.
Try.
Went out in the first pairing in the afternoon wave, shot 66 to join Ayako Uehara. Atop the leaderboard, Lindberg in the last pairing. Got them both by 1 with a 65. Temperature's gone up 20 degrees since the second round teed off this morning. A few more birdies being made in the last half hour or so. Lexi could use one. This would be a tall order.
Yeah, there's a few subtleties here. Going up a little rise to the top tier, which could throw it a little right. then up top it's really tough to tell what it does, and the hole cut what it is right now in the shadow of one of the palm trees. Lexi, obviously not that comfortable with her stroke. A couple of holes ago, it wasn't her turn to putt. She was taking some practice strokes and having Kevin kind of stand basically right over and watch what the putter was doing. And I've always fallen back on, when it doesn't quite feel right, just think about tempo, which is important in putting with your stroke as it is in the full swing.
That's good advice. I mean, you need to latch onto something, no matter what it is. I mean, for you, Jerry, it was tempo. For me, it was just trying to get the ball started over my chosen line. Just a spot about 6 inches in front of where my ball was. It was my primary focus. But you're right, you do need something.
Short putt for par as we go to the 9th.
Inji Chun's third shot. Finished 5th in her last start 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. And that should have a little spin on it. Nice approach for Inji Chun. They call her Dumbo because she is curious like a baby elephant, so she tells us.
You never forget that nickname. Jody Ewart-Chad off for birdie at the 18th. That's a nice 9 holes for Jody. Contended at the WECO Women's British Open last year. To the 8th, and a long birdie putt from Michelle Wie for a 3rd in a row.
And there should be little, if any, doubt in her mind exactly what this does. Only about a foot right of where Lexi was.
Nothing wrong with a par at that 8th. As we go to the tee at the 6th, we'll see Charlie Hull's tee shot with our TrackMan Tracer technology presented by NEC.
And going with a... It's hard to tell if that was a fairway wood or hybrid, but whatever it was, ideally placed.
Really awkward tee shot, that little sort of peninsula there with the palm trees in the middle of the lake is not that wide, especially in the afternoon when the fairways run a bit faster.
Certainly the safe play is to play out further to the right, and the fairway tilts a bit from right to left, so it'll swing the ball back. Nope. Visually, it's just really intimidating.
One behind Sungkyun Park, as you can see. No birdies for Lindbergh, but 2 or 3 really nice par saves from 3 to 5 feet. Nerves appear to be intact.
And beautiful tempo with that swing.
2 good ones. Lindbergh one back of this woman, Park, at the 11th.
A 3rd.
This whole location is only on 4 yards from the upslope.
She was the first LPGA rookie to ever reach the top spot in the Rolex World Rankings. And you can see she's playing like that sort of player today. There's a chance for a birdie and a 2-shot lead.
Overnight leader Pernilla Lindberg now one shot back, second shot at the 6th.
Pretty demanding second with the ball above her feet and a good 172 to the hole. At least with this lie, she'll be able to draw it in and play a little short right of the hole. That didn't sound very solid. Oh, she did get lucky.
Yeah. Will it come back a little?
Be too bad. Better than burying in the front bunker.
Ahead to the 9th.
Third shot for Inbee Park, coming off a bogey at 8.
Interesting watching Inbee Park's swing. Not changed much. She's made a few improvements to try and get a bit more height on the ball. But it reminds me of what Lydia Ko was doing a couple of years ago before she changed away from Ledbetter.
Charlie Hull, how about that follow through?
I love the way she plays. She's quick to hit, a very aggressive player, and that 8-iron's going to work out pretty well for her.
That was eventful. All kinds of things going on. Looked like she got stung by a bee almost. Spiked the club. It was weird.
No, she said she slipped.
Lost a spike. Spiked the club and lost one in her shoe. Here's another look.
See, ball above her feet. Let's see what her feet do here. Yeah, she lost her footing, but she was fine through impact. At impact, it wasn't too bad.
She does the little heel lift after her tee shots, not usually after her approaches. Look at that. Bat flip to the 11th.
Sun Hyun Park for birdie. This is for 3 in a row and a dominant performance so far from Sun Hyun Park. A 2-shot lead here on Friday morning at the first major of the season. Did not start well, bogeyed the opening hole, but since then it's been terrific golf.
Nelly Korda for birdie at the 8th. This to get to 6 under and a tie for 3rd. Great start for Nelly. Jessica shot 67 yesterday. A little highlight reel here of Nelly. This at the 1st for birdie. Saw her birdie the last hole yesterday, the par 5 9th, to shoot 1 under. And then at the 5th.
And not an easy putt, really quick down the hill, masses a break.
And then at the par 4 6th.
Really good with the little sort of half swings, 3/4 swings, just to control the shot. And like her sister, they have every aspect of their game is in good order.
Ricari for a birdie at the 5th.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now she started the round on the 10th, so this is the final 9 for Ricari. Back to level par. On the 9th hole, Inbee Park to get it to 3 under. This is her 9th of the day. Inbee just hanging around, a winner a couple of weeks ago.
And that was impressive in Phoenix because she looked to be going a bit stale on the back 9. Laura Davis was chasing her down, and all of a sudden, Inbee Park reels off birdies.
Elena Sharp for a birdie at the 5th. She's playing alongside Beatrice Ricari. And this is for her 4th birdie of the day. So Elena Sharp Brooke Henderson gets a lot of the attention as the top Canadian player, but Elena is knocking on the door for a first LPGA win. Let's go to 6.
And how about this putt through the fringe here, Kay?
Oh, really demanding. This would be a very touchy, difficult putt if she were just on the putting surface alone, because it's going to be slick, very, very slick. And now that she has a couple feet of fringe to work her way through, it's going to be that much more difficult to control the speed.
You almost just have to imagine the hole being maybe a foot or two on the green and just putt to that spot.
Yeah, she putted it as if it were a 5-footer.
Oh, how about it?
Wow. Putt of the day for her.
She asked for the second shot to get lucky. It did, and she takes advantage. And Lindbergh with her first birdie of the day. She gets to within 1 of Sung Hyun Park. What nerves?
Well, exactly. Look at that. Lovely, smooth roll through that fringe.
Right. She slept on the lead by 1, trailed by a couple. Back we go to the tee at this 6th, then Beatriz Ricciardi after a tremendous putt.
Thank you.
2 of her 3 wins have come here in the state of California. Over in Carlsbad at the Kia and up in Sacramento. And that's a beautiful look overhead at the 6th and now hole.
Well, they're making this hole look easy.
Well, I'll say, Charlie Hull is making this entire second round look a bit easier than it has been. She goes to 6 under. She's tied for 3rd. Sung Hyun Park, former #1 in the world, looking every bit of it here. 5 under through 11 holes. She goes to the 12th, leading it now by 1, looking for a second major championship after winning the U.S. Women's Open last summer. Lindbergh steals a birdie at the 6th. Pernilla Lindberg with a birdie at the 6th to get within 1 of Sung Hyun Park. We go to the 9th and Lexi Thompson.
71 yards, just a lob wedge, slight uphill lie.
She was looking like that was too far, and it was a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional there, the way the results ended up.
It's got so much spin on it that it's actually okay. Quick check of how things stand. Sung Hyun Park, former world #1, out in front. In a very international leaderboard as we go to the 12th.
23 countries represented, including South Korea. This is Park, second, from another near perfect position.
Again, has to carry it all the way to the hole.
And another look at birdie. 13 was the toughest hole of the course yesterday. The 12th, a good test as well. We're at the 6th. 3 behind Sung Hyun Park is Beatriz Ricari in that first pairing out off of the 10th this morning.
Well, she'd love to follow what the group in front just did. Both of them making birdies. Ball above her feet, and as Kay said about Charlie Hull's shot, should help her draw it towards the hole.
See that pre-shot routine, little Henrik Stenson maybe in there.
Ooh. I know we said that together. That's not going to be very pretty from the back
That one
there.
didn't. She didn't say get lucky. Maybe that was what she needed. Can't see it.
Well,
oh, maybe I see it there.
And it's going to be on a downhill lie with no green, being really slick.
Michelle Wee for a birdie at 9.
Turning a little left early, will straighten out right at the hole.
Well, that putter has come alive for Wee. Just at the right time. There you go. Birdie, birdie, par birdie to end the front 9, and she's now on the cut line.
She says how much fun golf has become for her now because of her putting and making putts again.
Pernilla Lindberg on the tee at the 7th.
Ideal tee shot is to just hug the tree line where the dog leg turns.
Thanks.
And she's done it. Charlie Hull also hit a nice tee shot down the middle.
Lexi trying to figure out the line with her caddy, Kevin McAlpine.
It's only the 9th hole on Friday, but for some reason I think this is a pretty big putt. Make this whole front side feels just a little less painful, and head to the back trying to claw your way back near the top of that leaderboard. Slightly downhill, I think turning gently right early.
Out in 2 over. Back on 2 under par and 7 shots behind.
And at the 12th, our leader by 1, Sung Hyun Park for birdie. Right on line, wasn't it?
It was, and everybody else on the leaderboard's breathing a little sigh of relief that another one didn't get notched up there, I think.
7.
Ball above her feet here, Kay, at 7.
It is. She has a 9-iron gripping down on it a little. Little breeze helping. Very good looking line.
Oh, that is aggressive from there. What a shot from Pernilla Lindberg. A little confidence after making that putt on the previous hole.
Oh, thank you.
Elena Sharp has one of the best rounds of the day going, 3 under as she plays here at the 6th.
And I think with the emergence of Brooke Henderson and golf becoming an Olympic sport, I think Canada have really upped their game in terms of helping the players, training them, and getting them ready to play professional golf.
Back to 7.
Charlie Hull second.
14 paces ahead. Little gripped wedge. Oh, sit.
Yeah, that's going to be quick. It's quite an impressive club twirl there from Charlie Hull. Sung Hyun Park with a 1-shot lead in the desert.
There, please.
Charlie Hull, you can see 3 back here at the A&A Inspiration. This for a birdie at the 7th.
And Tom, as you described, this will be very fast. This is not an easily makeable putt. Just kind of has to let it fall gently down that slope. And glad she didn't hit it too hard, because she certainly misread the break.
All right, here's Ricari's 3rd, way down here behind the hole.
You just want to let the club drop on the ball, like that.
Look at that touch.
As much as you want to force it out, you have to trust that you pick it up steeply and let the club literally just fall on the back of the ball and just let it pop up and out.
Back at 7.
Pernilla Lindberg with a great opportunity here to get it back into a tie for the lead.
And Karen, this is where to the casual eye you'd think, oh, this is good, give it to her. But you still have to go through the routine. You have to not think about what it means, what it's for, just that it's a 1.5 foot, just almost 2-footer, almost straight.
Great angle there. You could see the line on the ball and the line on the putter absolutely perfectly lined up. Great work from our team on the ground with the cameras.
Elena Sharp, 4 under for the championship. Opportunity missed. Making the turn, Lexi Thompson, 19 putts on her first 9 holes. See if she can get something going here. Bunker left.
Yeah, no problem. And left side of the fairway, not a bad spot to go into the right hole location.
Back we go to the green at the 6th. After that delicate pitch shot to this point, Ricari. Well, that's one to remember.
Well, and it was a really good confidence stroke, because that putt had quite a bit of break on it.
Couple of bogeys, couple of birdies as we go to the 9th.
Nelly Korda. Both of the Korda sisters are sitting on the same score at 5 under. And Nelly almost making another one. Jessica will play in the afternoon wave, scheduled to go at 1:14 local time.
And really quite amazing, you know, since Jessica's had the surgery, how very similar now both Nelly and Jessica look. And to their mother too, they all look very similar.
Little brother Sebastian looks a lot like the two of them as well. Maybe a little more like Nelly. Young golfers from around the country will realize a dream when they compete at Augusta National. Don't miss the national finals of drive, chip, and putt during Masters Week Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Of course, Lexi Thompson was just 12 years old when she first qualified for a U.S. Women's Open. Major champion now, second shot, needs to get something going, 7 off the lead.
Ball a little below her feet, 161 yards, that far back hole location. Pretty full 8-iron. Started on a great line and sounded nice as well. That's not the sound you want to hear when a good shot lands. 0 applause.
No.
Makeable, though, right?
Well, she's going to have to make a decision whether she wants to chip that or putt that. Just depends on how the grass is growing around the ball.
Jerry, we were talking about yesterday at one point how far apart these two players were in their scores.
Yeah, 5 under for Lexi, 4 over for Michelle, 9 shots different. Not the case anymore. And this, pretty good opportunity to try and get one close from 145 and a 9-iron. That's not good. Little over the top pole. Usually goes further than intended.
Well, the double cross, you could tell she was trying to get that to fade and just release the club a little bit more than she wanted.
Ahead to 13.
Now, this is not good off the tee from Sung Hyun Park.
No, that right rough on 13 is about as lush as you can find, but she's strong.
She's very strong.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is really good. She says that she prepares for a tournament every day at a tournament by doing 50 to 60 push-ups.
Like
press-ups. So that pays off when you're hitting out of the rough.
Well, it does, but that you could see the ball. Typically, when you're down the right side on 13, the ball is buried. So she got some good fortune there with the lie.
All right, Pernilla Lindberg off a couple of birdies in a row here at the 8th.
And birdied this hole yesterday. One of her 7 birdies on the card. Going with the 6-iron. Ideal landing number is 165 or 166 to get it up on that level where the hole is, and that's going to be a tricky up and down.
Birdied this hole yesterday to get a share of the lead. Birdied the 9th, her last hole, to get the lead outright to 17.
This is Amy Olsen.
Really tough hole location today. All the way back left. Ideally, a nice high draw to get it close.
Oh, that's one of the best we've seen at 17. There's been a lot of action in the bunker on the left, short left.
Back of the 8th, Charlie Hull.
Selecting a club that she can hit very aggressively. 7-iron. Peeling off a little bit.
She definitely likes to go at it, you know, hard and fast, and I'm not sure that if she had to choose to play a soft shot she would ever. She'd go at it hard all the time.
Park and Lindberg tied at 9. Park with a birdie putt at 13 at the moment. At the 10th, Lexi has chosen a putter. This her 3rd shot on the par 4.
And didn't really consider any other club too delicate of a shot to try and get a wedge on it. Michelle Wearty, 2-putter for par.
Maybe that's what she needed. 19 putts on the front 9, no putts yet. Technically, statistically on the back, and her first birdie takes her to 3 under.
isn't it the crazy game?
Yes.
That, you know, you spend all that time lining up the putt, making sure the lines are right on the green, checking it all out, and then you're off the green. You can't line the ball up. You just stand over it and hit it. You make it.
How about this pitch shot for our co-leader Lindbergh at the 8th?
Not as difficult and up and down as I first thought.
That will be for par. Sung-Hyun Park has a putt for birdie. Let's check it out.
Yeah, it's a very makeable one. And it's 6 under for the day. I thought it was going to go left there for a moment, Karen, but there's a bit of break on it.
Yep. She's just marching along. She has a big fan club too in Korea, like In-ji-chan. Follows her around.
Long birdie putt for Charlie Hull at the 8th.
Yeah, coming up from that middle plateau to the top. Right to left movement.
Good one. Stacey Lewis made one from near there earlier. No stress par for Hull. 7.
Certainly not a no-stress day for Ricari. She's been in the rough a lot. And that's going to work towards the hole. How about this little shot? This needs to sit down. Going to leave her a speedy putt, I should say. But from where she was, pretty good.
Her wrist will be aching at the end of the day after digging it out from some of the lies she's been.
11th hole, In-ji-chan to get to 6 under.
I'm talking about fan clubs. She has a massive fan club. There is even a splinter fan club. So she has 2 in Korea, and they do really nice things for them, the players. They'll have a party for them at the end of the year for their fans to celebrate.
Pernilla Lindbergh for par at the 8th.
Looks like this putt might just peel to the right. Wow, she is so solid on all these short putts.
You would never know that she slept on her first lead at a major championship for the first time last night. A couple of birdies, some great par saves. And we go to the tee at the par 3 14th. Our leader now by 1, Sung-Hyun Park.
Playing short today. And you won't see too many balls right of that hole location today. That was aggressive.
Another makeable look, though it is off the green on the front side. Sung-Hyun Park trying to win a major championship for the 2nd consecutive year, just 23 years old, from South Korea. One of 5 players to ascend to number 1 last year, trying to get back to that top spot. She occupies the top spot of the ANA.
warm up for the senior LPGA. Back at the 7th hole, Beatrice Riccari trying to get the speed right here down the hill. It's hard work today for Beatrice.
And as we go to the 14th, we find our leader, Sung-Hyun Park, with a putt for birdie to go up by 2. 10 under, 62. Lorena Ochoa, the course record here, the ANA.
It's quite the thing watching Sung-Hyun Park when she plays with In-Ji Chun in Korea. The crowds are absolutely immense, and they all wear their outfits to support their players with the signs, and it's really quite fun. Festive atmosphere.
For par. We will see that atmosphere at the UL International Crown, the team competition in October this year. Spain are not yet qualified.
But if Beatrice can keep playing like this, you never know.
Now Vanilla Lindberg on the tee.
She's been extremely accurate today off the tee, only missing 1 fairway so far. And another beauty there.
Saying, I think you heard her say it was a little bit short, but no problem at all.
4 hours of coverage this morning and 2 more hours tonight. Terry Gannon and Judy Rankin hop in the booth. Tom and Karen and Jerry and Kay and Lisa Cornwell. As we continue second round coverage, Christy Kerr, Jessica Korda. See how Ayako Uehara follows up that 66 yesterday.
Michelle is going to go at this one in 2 at 11.
She can get it close. I don't know if she can get it all the way there. Maybe front edge, which is only 247. Holes placed on the front, 251 to the hole. That's at the opening between the bunkers.
You're right, Jerry, just not enough firepower to get it there.
It's going to be an awkward chip too, with only 4 yards of green to work with and a bit of a false front as well to deal with.
Yes, it flattens it out on your screens, but there is a bit of a rise up to the front of the putting surface, gives it a little bit of protection. Now Lexi in the rough, is that going to help at all?
Not at all, because it's lying into the green. It's barely into the first cut of rough from the primary rough. 242 to the front, 246 hole, and she has to hit a power fade, a low fade. She can do it, just not her favorite shot.
Watch out for those trees.
Yeah, that's going to catch a second set of them. But in the fairway and back far enough where she'll be able to spin it.
Yesterday, Brittany Lang managed to get one wedged in one of those trees on the 10th, and it didn't come down, so she had to go back and play another one.
You have to be able to identify it. If you can't identify it, you have to go back. Lost ball.
15th tee, Sung-Hyun Park. 50 to 60 push-ups a day. How about that to get your day started?
Very good.
Is that all?
It's pretty impressive, really. Gary Player would be proud.
But still on that number and a good solid follow-up, if not spectacular, solid. She's in the first pairing out off the 10th tee, so this is her 17th hole of the day.
There you go. Come on. Count.
You know, she asked for it to be good.
It just needed another couple of yards.
To the 11th.
Lexi's third. Fortunate, really, Jerry. This came right back out into the fairway.
Yeah, at a distance, as mentioned, where she can spin it. 78 yards, lob wedge, not a full one. A lot of times that 3/4 or so lob wedge has more spin than a full one. Not the shot, though, you want to land past the hole and try and bring it back, but you don't really want to land it on that front edge either.
super.
Could this be like the Solheim Cup, where she played Anna Norquist, started very poorly that front line and somehow managed to turn it around on the back?
Charlie Hull second to the 9th.
Pernilla laid up. Hard to think she can get it there. 253 to the front, but she gave it a wallop.
Oh,
I'd say.
slashing at it.
Look at this.
She needed driver off the deck.
That's fun to watch, though. Watching somebody go at it that fast.
She really only knows one way to play, does Charlie Hull. Sunghyun Park, Pernilla Lindberg, 1 and 2 on the leaderboard here at the ANA Inspiration.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to Rancho Mirage, California in the desert. And round 2 coverage of the ANA Inspiration. Grant Boone, Major Champion Karen Stupples, Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, Kay Cockrell, Lisa Cornwell with you. Sunghyun Park, huge move, 6 under today. The reigning U.S. Women's Open champion. That's the next major on the calendar. Lindberg, 2 under. And we're out at the 11th.
Michelle Wee's 3rd.
No way to really comfortably fly this onto the putting surface. Oh, but that'll work, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen this from Michelle, how good her short game's been recently. She's been working so much on it, 5 hours plus a day.
Thought she might use a less lofted club there, Karen. It was a very sneaky little shot from Michelle and will yield a birdie. At the 9th, Lindberg's 3rd.
Yeah, that was just a sand wedge. Probably not her best effort there.
But a little help on the spin, Kay.
Yeah, it leaves herself a decent opportunity for birdie.
Has her fiance Daniel Taylor caddying for her?
Alexi Thompson, good chance for a birdie here at 11.
Yeah, a little speedy though, should turn left. Oh, looked like it was supposed to anyway.
Well, she sees the funny side of it.
I think, know, with Lexi, with the putting right now, there's not a great deal wrong with it, but you can't start looking for it. Like, you still have to stay down, you still have to trust it.
We're at the 8th, the par 3, and Beatrice Riccari with a par putt. 17th hole of the day. Really impressive.
She has been scrambling her way around this golf course.
Yeah. Up ahead to the 9th.
What's Charlie Hull going to do here? This is a moment to go.
She must get this up and in, take advantage of that aggressive second. Well, she is going to be displeased with that effort.
There's just a little rise there, a little knob at the front of the green that was giving Charlie some problems. Now, Pernilla Lindberg for a birdie to get to double digits under par.
That's always exciting, Tom. And she's coming off a little bit of a rise herself on the end of a little spine that comes off the back of the green. So putting slightly downhill. Aggressive.
Good.
Wow. She is feeling it right now, no doubt.
She said at the beginning of the week she felt like she was playing so well she wanted the tournament to start on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then didn't play as well in the Pro-Am, but got right back into the form that she was seeing on Monday when she opened the account yesterday, and it's continuing today. Good golf from Lindberg, who really hasn't been in this position in a major. Sung Hyun Park has. She's a major champion. This has second to the 15th. And that is power for you. And in it goes. Special moment for Sung Hyun Park. And now you start to think about records, because she's 8 under par for the day with 3 holes to play, including a par 5.
And the 18th has been moved up. It's reachable today.
Sung Hyun Park with one of the best rounds of her life going on here. Holing out on 15, which traditionally is a difficult hole. Let's take a look back at what she's done so far today. And tee to green, she has been impressive.
First things first, from the fairway, softer conditions, hits the ball high, gets it to stop.
She's number 1 on tour in greens and regulation from the fairway.
And even when the lie makes you want to play left, she still is able to hold on and get it close to the hole.
This was a 10.
She's showing some real versatility with her shots, being able to move them both ways. Very talented hands. From the rough now, 13. And we weren't sure she could get anywhere near the green from there, but
she did get it on the green at 13, made the birdie, and then this was just moments ago at the 15th. Absolutely perfect. And Sung Hyun Park really can't put the foot wrong at the moment. 12 under, leads by 2, 8 under for the day. And she is going to pick that one out of the hole. Over to the 9th, where Charlie Hull has this for a birdie to go out in 32. Charlie had a great chance to win a couple of years ago. If you remember, in the final day she started poorly, made a couple of bogeys early on, but then turned it around, came home in 32 and was just 1 shot behind Lydia Ko, played in the 3rd to last group on Sunday. She loves this place, wants to go 1 better this time around, but she is going to have to play some golf if she's going to catch Sung Hyun Park. This was the shot she just holed. Sung Hyun leads by 2.
on the tee at the 10th. Now a couple of shots back, Pernilla Lindberg.
Yesterday she missed 6 fairways and still shot 7 under. And that's going to be her second missed fairway today.
She has played brilliantly, but Sung-Hyun Park has been even better. Moment ago at the 12th, Lexi Thompson.
Pitching wedge from 129 that never left the flag.
Her only birdie of the day came from off the green. She just missed a birdie putt of maybe about that length. At the 11th, on the tee at the 16th, after holing out for eagle at 15, our leader by 2, Sung-Hyun Park.
Yeah, really good.
Last year, co-player of the year and rookie of the year. This is the 40th anniversary of Nancy Lopez as a rookie, winning player of the year, 1978. And another in great position. At the 12th, we
had some tree trouble on her second shot. Did great to get it to here. Uphill the whole way and turning left. Not that much.
A great rally for we so far. Chance to make the cut, certainly, which right now is at even par, but it is Sung-Hyun Park running away with it at the moment. One tournament into the Symetra Tour season, and Lauren Kim, who won that first event, is on top of the money list. Top 10 get their LPGA Tour cards, and they move to California for the next event next week. Eight under par after the hole out for eagle for Sung-Hyun Park. Very first round she ever played on the LPGA Tour. Shot 62, 10 under par. It's in Taiwan a couple of years ago. Last year a rookie on tour. Par putt for Michelle Wee.
That's kind of big right there. You got to go and you don't want to give an easy one away.
You see 4 birdies. No bogeys for Michelle. And Lexi Thompson looking at another good look at birdie.
Yeah, inside, well, I guess Michelle's par putt, wasn't it? This one a little above the hole. It should just be dying right. After a few misses, you get to that point as a player and as a team with the caddy that you start really trying to look for every possible thing in there. So you don't misread another one, and oftentimes that becomes counterproductive. Like Karen mentioned back at 10, you took the putter, and you just gave it a wrap, popped out of the grass, and went in.
Some days it's going to be your day on the greens, and other days it's not. It's just the way of the world with golf.
This part of the green in years past has broken less toward the front than a lot of players read.
Oh boy.
And that was a little pull, and as you mentioned it, Jerry, you said about rhythm. I think that the rhythm's just got a little quick on those now.
Trying to gather herself for a par putt that will be maybe about this length.
Just at the last minute, she just turns that club face over a bit more to the left. It's almost like she just doesn't trust that read. And it's something that she's fought. You know, she was aiming it too far to the right. She changed putters. She felt like she could aim this one straight. And maybe there's just a few old demons creeping back in there.
Had a great look at birdie on the first hole that just wiggled away at the last moment, and it's been a struggle on the greens ever since. Second 3-putt of the day. 24 putts in 12 holes, and that includes a no putt at the 10th. Can't believe I just bogeyed from 3 feet. Our leader by 2, Sung-Hyun Park.
Very confident flowing swing, and why wouldn't you? She's been staking it all day.
He said that 62 in her first round was in Taiwan. It was actually in South Korea, her homeland. She'll have that to get to 13 under. Running away with it here so far on a Friday. Last hole of the day for Beatrice Riccari, Tom.
Yeah, third shot to the par 5. She's level par today. And a chance to finish in red numbers. That for a 71.
Just a moment ago at the 10th, the second shot for Pernilla Lindberg.
About 5 feet from the front of this bunker, however, a low lip, but only able to get an 8-iron on it. It's about the lowest lofted club she could use.
It's going to be somewhat of an awkward chip. The ball does tend to sit down in this sand. Nice and stable from the top, drops it on the inside, picks it nice and cleanly.
And now Charlie Hull from the fairway.
See if she can pay off that beautiful drive with a short iron. She's going right at it.
Low follow through, should spin.
It's a fascinating battle for second place, or maybe third. Park 8 under and a birdie putt at the 16th, threatening the course record and the championship record.
I think now, with Lexi missing a few putts, she knows people are watching.
Yeah.
And I think in her
Third shot, par 4 10th for Pernilla Lindberg.
Has a lot of green to cover, 36 paces precisely. Oh, this looks pretty nifty, taking it up close to the fringe.
That to stay 10 under. The only player within striking distance at the moment of this woman, Sung Hyun Park. Powered it through the break, and that's
a little tester,
I'll say. She bogeyed the first hole today, Sung Hyun Park did, and not many bogeys, not many blemishes since, none in fact. Hole for birdie.
A little bit of a dry spell right now. Last birdie came at the 6th. And she's had some good opportunities, but got to be getting a little frustrated at the moment.
Tied for third place at 6 under. To the 9th.
Beatrice Ricari for a birdie. Her best finish in a major, tied for 9th. It came at the Evian Championship in 2013, the first year that it was a major championship. Remember that year it was reduced to 54 holes because of torrential rain. It's going to be a round of 72 for Ricari. She's in at 6 under through 2 days.
And now Sung Hyun Park for par at the 16th. Hold out for eagle at 15. And now about 4 feet for her par here. All kinds of scoring records in play at the moment for Sung Hyun Park.
And I think when you see Sung Hyun Park's name going really low at the top of the leaderboard, it's a bit of a warning shot across the bow to everybody out there playing, because she doesn't normally let up too much. I mean, she has done a couple of times, but since she won the US Women's Open, she's just been like steamrollers every time she's gone up to the top.
13.
Lexi Thompson's second.
That was a horrible lie in the rough. I can't believe she got that much club on it to get it to there. It was sitting way down and the really long stuff into the grain.
Par putt for Lindbergh at 10. Kay, how impressive is this?
Very impressive. Her short game touch is excellent, and she's hitting those short putts dead center.
Back we go to 13.
Michelle Wee's second.
First got a rough 141 yards of the hole, into a little breeze now, and a 9-iron. Just right of the hole. A little shy.
Better to be below the hole here on 13, though.
Very difficult from above it, Tom. Really quick.
Join the Golf Channel Am Tour. You can play where the pros play, including right here at Mission Hills. Experience other top courses like Ennisbrook, PGA National, TPC Sawgrass, and more. Visit gcamtour.com to learn more. Beautiful look from high overhead. 13th and the 14th here at Mission Hills. The 47th playing of the ANA Inspiration. 36th as a major championship. It's 1983. To 15.
Stacey Lewis for birdie. She's been struggling with an injury over the last month or so. And in talking to her earlier in the week, she probably wouldn't have played this week had it not been the major that she loves so much.
Yeah, she hasn't really had much time to work on the long game and find the rhythm and the timing, and you can feel so lost sometimes on a golf course if you haven't put in the time that you're used to putting in.
Yeah, she only started hitting driver again at the very end of last week, so it's really not the sort of preparation you need for this golf course. On the 11th, they moved the tee back. Yesterday it was on that forward tee, now it's on the back tee. And Pernilla Lindbergh, is she going to cut the corner off here, Kay?
I don't think she needs to take any needless aggressive shots on this hole. I mean, this with her 255 average, it's not a hole that's going to be easily reachable for her. I think, Karen, she's probably setting it in her mind to play a 3-shot hole.
I think that would be a smart play. And she is looking definitely down that right side, though, close to going over those trees.
She did indeed.
It's a risky play. I think it may have just caught that tree. It looked like it from our plane up in the camera up in the plane. That's what I meant to say. In the rough, but we could see the balls. 13th hole, third for Lexi.
Uphill lie in the primary rough, but it's lying down green. Pretty easy to make decent contact with that.
Come on, come on. Yeah.
Nicely below the hole.
Now Charlie Hull at the 11th.
Charlie, I would expect to just go after this 110%. That might not be high enough. And she flirted with all sorts of trees over there.
Yeah, got through the trees, just in the rough. She's a little concerned, but it's going to be a layup for both players. Time for a little snack. It's 11:30, I suppose you can do that. Sunghyun Park just waiting on the 17th. Back on the 13th. This is a par putt for Lexi Thompson.
And shall we Mr. Birdie putt this one pretty much straight uphill?
Oh, another missed putt, and now Lexi goes to 1 under par. She's only a couple of shots inside the number to make the weekend.
This makes my heart heavy, watching Lexi, with the putts. I mean, when you think about everything that, her and we too at this event, they've come so close. Last year, almost having the trophy taken from her hands, and then Michelle Wee too comes so close without ever having made that jump in Poppy's Pond. The pressure is extreme because they want it so much that every single putt that you put on, that you're standing over, and particularly in Lexi's case, Lexi knows that we're all talking about it. We're all analysing it.
Sunghyun Park 8 under par today, 12 under overall, and we've started to get into the record books a little bit. So look at the scoring records for 18 holes. 62. Lorena Ochoa. Sunghyun Park would need 2 birdies over the last 2 holes to get to that number. 11 under par. Looks like she's going to better that for 36 holes. Look at the 54-hole record. Amy Alcott, 30 years ago, that first leap into Poppy's Pond, she was 13 under through 3 rounds. Dottie Pepper in 99, 13 under through 3 rounds. That 19 under number is in jeopardy at the end of the week. So this is some record scoring from Sung Hyun Park. They're just waiting on the tee because the green is not quite clear. 17's playing pretty tricky today. Yeah, we'll go back out to the 14th. Jesus.
To the 14th. Perhaps Lexi can hit it close here and regroup, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm sensing a little frustration, understandably. 123. Little breeze helping down the hill. That's a gap wedge. Michelle Wee's about 15 feet past the hole, and this is about 25 feet left.
Only birdie today came from off the green at the 10th. And that a lengthy putt. The 2019 Kia Sorento on sale shortly. Last week in Carlsbad, Eun-hee Ji with a 1-shot lead on Sunday. The last player with a chance to make a hole-in-one and win the Sorento did it. She went on to win by a couple. At the 12th, Ataya Titikul to get to 4 under.
And another wave of, Thai players coming through, following the Jutanagans. And I really feel like LPGA having a tournament in Thailand really has put that on the spotlight for them as a country, with golf as a way of their athletes to make a living.
It'll be fascinating to watch how Alban Valenzuela plays later today after the 67. Titikul now in a tie for 13th. How about young Lucy Lee? 14-year-old Rose Zhang, solid even par opening round. Sung Hyun Park, your leader.
Well, we haven't seen too much of this hole today. We've seen a few shots.
That's the right club. We just need to get the right line.
That's the problem, that hole location, Karen.
100%.
It is. It's a...
Guys, you need all cameras down, please.
Only 3 from the left, and when you're standing on the tee, it looks like it's just perched over that bunker as well.
That club. You can go out that line.
The green does slope to the left at about 10 yards right of where the hole is located, so you can bring it in from there off the back.
Only 3 birdies today.
Well done. That's perfect.
Oh, that is special. Fantastic shot. She's so dialed in with her golf swing right now.
And this isn't an easy pin to get to.
Losing confidence.
Wow. Just the strike was perfection.
Pernilla Lindberg, just a moment ago, we saw the drive down the right, laid up to here. This is her third.
Yeah, hitting right before Park hit in the parallel fairway over. That was a perfect wedge distance.
And just going to stay there, and she's left it below the hole. It's a good shot there, Kay. Beatrice Riccari's finished with her 72, and Lisa Cornwell joins us with Riccari.
Yeah, Tom, she was 6 under yesterday, even par, as you mentioned yesterday. Beatrice, I look at the stats, they look very similar, the numbers do, to how you performed yesterday. What was the difference today?
Today I felt like I was a lot above the hole, which made it a little bit more difficult to be aggressive on the putts, and then also I felt like I had a lot of in between distances. Yesterday I felt like I had a lot of perfect claps going onto the onto the pin, and today I felt like I either had to draw it a lot with a shorter iron or high fade. So and also on these greens it's so firm. So yeah, I felt like, I played really well. It's just one of those days that happens, but overall I felt like even par was the worst score that I could score today. I felt like my game was really good, and that gives me a lot of confidence for the weekend.
When things like that happen early in a golf tournament, you're playing well and it's a golf course that you know very well. What can you learn from those leads, as you say, to carry over into the weekend?
I think be even more patient and play more on the fat side. I think that maybe I got a little bit anxious and I wanted to make birdies. I felt like, I was hitting fairway green starting on the first few holes, and it was just not dropping, and maybe I forced it a little bit, and I made a silly mistake on 17. But I think that the key is patience. This course can get to you, and it's easy to miss on the wrong spot and make a silly bogey, and I think the key is, if you can't make birdie, make sure you two-putt for par and move on, because any run under par is going to be a very good score on this course.
Still in good position. Best of luck this weekend.
Lisa, thank you. Multitasking. Sunbeam Park, the leader by 2. As we take you to the 14th, the birdie putt of Lexi Thompson. The short ones haven't gone in. Maybe the long one will.
Well, and we saw a nice long one that she made on 10 from off the green.
11.
Charlie Hull for birdie.
Hit a less than stellar sand wedge in, resulting in this much longer than anticipated putt. Not taking advantage of this, the last 2 par 5s.
At the 6th, Jody Ewart-Chadoff. The breakout of a pack at 6 under. She gets to -7. She is alone in 3rd place. 5 others at 6 under par. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birdies today. Solheim Cup player.
I think this is a good pairing, Kay, for Pernilla, because Charlie's quite a fun player to play with. She, from talking to other players when they're playing with Charlie, she starts talking about all sorts of different things, all sorts of different subjects, and it kind of takes players' minds off the golf. It's probably good for Pernilla.
Totally, and when you're talking about personalities, they're really quite opposite. Charlie is much more simplistic with her approach, more kind of athletically reactive, and doesn't take any time. No funny little mannerisms or anything. She's easy to play with, and I think that kind of sets a more calming tone for Pernilla.
Also, I think Charlie's caddy Adam is quite fun to be around on the golf course too.
He's made the leap into Poppy's Pond before. With Sun Young Yu.
You guys called it. This could not have been placed better. Underneath the hole, virtually no break to this putt. And she doesn't have to worry about the speed getting away from her. And that's really her first miss from that range today.
Sangyun Park now to get to 13 under par, 9 under for the day. And remember, the 62, the course record here, and the 18th is a par 5 with the tee moved up. Couldn't have had a better chance for a birdie. Just a 3 for Sun Hyun Park. And if there's one element of her game, Karen, that may have some issues, it would be the putting.
Yeah, and it's just a very simple little thing. Just stands a little too close to it on those short ones. The long ones you can get away with it, but not that little ones.
It's going to be something to watch over the weekend, because without a doubt, Sun Hyun Park will be right in the mix here at the ANA Inspiration.
7 under was the lead when the day started. It belonged to Pernilla Lindberg. Sung-Yoon Park is 8 under on her round today. Just missed a short putt for birdie. She goes to the easily reachable, certainly for her, par 5 18th, with a chance to tie the course record. Nelly Korda for birdie at the 14th.
And very sensibly put her tee shot in good spot on the green. And
Michelle Weiss missed the fairway at 15, second shot.
Has to keep it kind of low, no chance to get it close. Out of that rough from 131. That's a lot better than I thought you could expect from there. Well done.
Quick putt, but 4 is not a bad score on this hole, I suppose, when you drive it in the rough. Different story for Lexi. She'll be looking at a 3.
Yes, I've never called this yardage for a second shot at 15 even downwind. 80 yards, Tom. Just a lob wedge. That drive was blistered.
got to take your frustration out in the course somewhere.
Getting a little better. This hole used to be pretty intimidating, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lexi making light work of it. Sung-Yoon Park hold her second shot for an eagle at 15. It is the second round here in Rancho Mirage, California.
The tee at the par 5 18th moved up today. Not sure Sung Hyun Park even needs that extra distance to reach this par 5 and 2. If she were to eagle, then she would tie Lorena Ochoa's all-time championship 18-hole record. She leads the ANA Inspiration by 2 after a thrilling Friday morning.
Can you see caddy player now? Yeah. That's the middle of fairway.
And you'll see this tee shot with our TrackMan Tracer technology presented by NEC.
Only awkward bit is the tee pointing out to the right, but she has to aim so much more left, almost in between the palm trees, just to the right of the stands. This one is a bit, she's aiming a bit right. This might go through the fairway on the right.
The lie, okay.
I think that's just awkward because the tee is aiming them out that way, and so when you are aimed correctly in the middle of the fairway, it feels like you're hitting across yourself, and it just feels really awkward.
And now a decision to make when she gets there. And another look, ready for liftoff.
Perfect ball position, just off her left heel, rotates heavily through, hits up on it, maximizes the launch angle, the spin rate. But that was just a factor of where she had that aimed.
To 12, and Charlie Hull.
Lucky that she doesn't have the worst of lies, just an easy 9-iron to extract it. And using the slope quite nicely.
And for Charlie to get to 7 under. 15.
Lexi Thompson for a birdie.
Downhiller that turns hard left. She got a good read from Michelle Wee's birdie effort, which just missed on the high side.
Yeah.
That was a gutsy putt.
Quick down the hill.
Yeah. It might be the toughest one she's had as well.
Funny how things work out, isn't it?
Less pressure to make the hard ones.
Good point. Back to 12 and Lindbergh.
With an 8-iron from the middle of the fairway. Good looking shot. Starting it out to the right. Well, and she'll end up getting a teach off of Hull.
Back to the 7th.
Jodie Hewitt shad off this to get to 8 under.
Really a very gutsy player. Watched her play some tremendous shots coming down the stretch at the Ricoh Women's British Open last year. Under pressure.
6 birdies already today.
She's not afraid of the big moment. Enjoys playing in the Solheim Cup.
It's not really been a season to speak much about, really, for Jodie Hewitt. She had her best finish was tied for 20th. She shot 66 that week in the 3rd round, but 64th on the money list. So far, so good here at the ANA Inspiration. 5 under for the day. Sung Hyun Park is the big story right now. I suppose Lexi Thompson is always a story, and the way that she's not put the day together that she wanted.
Couple of birdie putts at 12, first hole.
And never got that high enough or hard enough at the start. But Lindbergh would have learned something from that putt. Watched it closely.
Lindbergh with a birdie putt in a moment. First to the 16th off that birdie, Lexi Thompson.
Just a little tiny breeze helping. Oh, that's a line you don't see often. I thought the last one was hit hard.
Goodness. Still has the fan support, and she knows better than anyone. anything can happen here at the A&A, though she is 10 shots back at the moment. A lot of golf to be played still, just the first half of golf on Friday, and now Lindbergh for a birdie to get within one.
Really good opportunity here. This putt moves mostly right to left at the beginning part of the putt when you're hitting the putt with the most velocity. So in essence, Karen, it really doesn't have that much movement. And I think what she learned off of Charlie Hull is she can go ahead and hit this more aggressively because it's a tad uphill.
Interestingly, though, today, Kay, that the putts that she's made have been more the downhillers. And they've been falling in the back of the hole. The uphillers haven't been her thing. Maybe it'll change here.
Great call, Karen.
It's just sometimes that with those downhill putts, all you have to do is just literally just get the ball rolling. You don't have to think about the speed or hitting it, and they just go in sometimes.
Lindbergh babied one through the fringe at 6 for birdie. It was her first. She's 2 back. A tremendous Friday morning for Sung Hyun Park, her final hole of the day. It is the par 5 18th, her second shot. Laying up here, Karen?
Oh yeah, ball looks to be sitting up quite well. So she's got to not really ground the club because you can hit it high on the face sometimes.
Too much, maybe? Oh. One too many push-ups this morning. Tom mentioned she does 50 to 60 for each tournament day. Another look here at the contact.
You see how good the ball was sitting up. And I don't think she expected it to come out quite as well as that.
She holed out for eagle at 15.
Yeah.
That took her to 12 under. We're at 16 for Lexi.
So I'd rather you go ahead and hit the front door. Right now, that's perfect. Yeah. It's just pushing you well right, okay?
Slight breeze helping from the left, as Kevin said. Slight downhill line, only 115 to the hole. Michelle Lee played from 18 yards further back and hit a little too much club in the back left bunker. That looked like sand wedge right at it.
Okay, can she make one from that range? Her 2 birdies today. One was from off the green, one was sharply breaking right to left putt down the hill. One of our 7 amateurs in the field, Lilia Vu, this at the 13th time.
And trying to make the cut, needs this one to go. Lilia is at UCLA. Last year she won 4 consecutive tournaments, and this season she's won her last 4 collegiate tournaments. She is missing an event to play here this week. The next event that she's going to play is a match play, so she's going to have to switch gears to match play mode if she's going to make it 5 in a row. She holds the career victories record at UCLA now with 8 wins, courtesy of those 4 this season, and you can see she's ranked #1 in the world. I might be right in saying that she has beaten the record which was once held by Kay Cockrell at UCLA. Anna Nordqvist on the tee at the 17th, battling right on the cut line. Oh, just enough. Look at this. Nordqvist with a great chance for a birdie there to give herself a little room to be here for the weekend. To 18.
And Sung Hyun Park playing with Minji Lee at the 18th, a 3rd shot, this par 5 upcoming. And with this whole location, how difficult will this 3rd shot be?
Well, I don't necessarily think she wants to fly it right on line with the hole. I think she needs to land this a little bit left and a little bit short and left, and allow the natural slope of the green to take it round towards the hole. I would like to see more of a lower shot to come in, but you've got to really land it on that target, on that little down slope to kick to the right.
Were it to go in, and she has holed out once already today, back at the 15th, were it to go in, she would tie Lorena Ochoa's 18-hole record of 62. Lorena didn't win that year. She would win a couple of years later. Well, a player with her length, I think, to have a putt like that for birdie at the 18th would probably be a bit of a disappointment, but what about this day for Sung Hyun Park?
Oh, it's been tremendous. And when you think about the shots that she's played all day, from the fairway, I might add, that have been so close to the hole, giving her so many opportunities.
13.
Second shot for Pernilla Lindberg, wide left, but actually far enough wide where she's all right.
Exactly. She has a perfectly level lie. The rough is low. It's sitting up a little bit. The wind is just starting to freshen a little, hurting out of the right. Almost an easier shot here than in the fairway, because the fairway tilts left to right.
That's going to be just fine right there.
That's taken advantage of a good break.
Really good. Should be a tap-in birdie for Lindberg. Take her to 11 under par. Creep her a little closer to Sung Hyun Park. Let's go to 16.
Lexi for another birdie.
Going a little right, I believe.
Multiple chances for birdie from that range here today. She was 2 over on her round. A couple of shots clear of the cut line as we go back 1 to the 15th.
Second shot for Morgan Pressel, 3 over par. She needs to make something happen if she's going to be here for Saturday and Sunday. Well, that's making something happen. That's 2 2s on the 15th we've seen. And Pressel, the 07 champion, gets it back to 1 over and a chance to make the cut. It wasn't looking likely. Yeah, no wonder she's smiling. Great shot.
And this whole location, I'm like, it's not that easy. It's tucked behind the bunker. She hit this from a little upslope. One hop. And dunked.
She was the youngest winner of a major championship when she triumphed here. Morgan Pressel back to 1 over with that eagle at the 15th.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to Rancho Mirage, California. High noon here in the desert. Our round 2 coverage of the ANA Inspiration continues. Grant Boone, Major Champ, Karen Stupples, Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, Kay Cockrell, Lisa Cornwell with the interviews, and Sung Hyun Park playing the par 5 18th. Has a birdie putt here to shoot 63. It would be the second best score ever shot in this event. And she won 7 times on the Korean LPGA Tour back in 2016. Perhaps golf's next big thing already. She's been #1. She's a major champion. She had the lead going into the weekend at the U.S. Open 2 years ago. Didn't win. Came from 7 behind on the weekend to win the U.S. Women's Open last year.
And people were asking her back in 16, are you going to become a member of the LPGA? Are you going to come over and play? And she's like, I don't know. She was really unsure if she wanted to make the trip, make the journey over here. But boy, did it pay off last year for her.
The rest of the LPGA Tour, sorry she did.
Yeah.
She leads it by 2.
It's the par putt for Charlie Hull at the 13th.
Yeah, made her way up this hole from the right rough. And wow, she's still going to be away. Kind of gives Lindbergh an idea how fast even her very short putt will be.
It's going to be her first drop shot since the first hole in round 1. That was her 10th hole of the day.
Will she make the walk of champions Sunday evening? Not much bugging her today. Bogey at the first hole. And then a whole lot of greatness.
It's a bogey for Charlie Hull. She's going to drop back to 5 under, still chattering away.
She's got to keep her mind occupied somehow, Tom.
Yeah. Now, Pernilla. This is important, but it is quite a quick putt for Lindberg here, Kay.
Yeah, it's just one of those putts that you just have to have your total confidence, commitment, and not think for a moment about the possible alternative if it were to power lip out. It's a foot and a half away. This would be for her 11th birdie this week.
If she's going to win the ANA Inspiration, she's got to make these.
Yeah. She's been dead solid with them for most of the day. Beautiful. Wow. Up and in with a 6-iron for that birdie.
Fortunate that the rough isn't thick on the other side of the car path. A good birdie.
Of course, Palm Springs a great area. This whole area, the Coachella Valley, great golf area, but it's a great tennis area as well. Indian Wells just about 10 miles away. Nelly Corda's father, Peter, lost to Pete Sampras in Indian Wells in 1994, and her brother Sebastian just played here a couple of weeks ago in a junior event.
And really interesting, you know, having talked to Nelly's caddy, Jason McDeed, about her game and what's so good. He says that she's just got really great hands. And I'm like, where do you think that comes from? He says, the tennis background, you know, learning to hit those, you know, little cut shots, the little slice things, and, you know, all those little shots that they play. They think that makes a big difference.
She was in the Bahamas with her mom watching younger brother Sebastian win the Australian Open boys title 20 years after her father Peter won the Australian Open singles title. And she's certainly trending toward her first win, isn't she?
Oh, no doubt about it. And I think that anybody who watches her play will think that that's in the future. She came very close in Singapore this year and just narrowly missed out because Michelle Wie did some heroics on the 18th hole.
Without question. To the par 3 14th. The 2019 Kia Sorento. Up for grabs. You've already given away first-class plane tickets from ANA yesterday. That was to Olavia Kristensdatter.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No,
Play that white thing.
Yep.
This yardage is the same exact yardage she had at the 11th hole when she stuck her wedge in tight to about 3.5 feet. However, Karen, obviously this plays downhill 4 yards and a little breeze helping from the left. It's the first real air movement we've had today.
Yeah, it's been very still, even all day yesterday too.
Good aggressive strike. Oh, wow. How impressive are her wedges and her irons in general.
Everything has been impressive today for Pernilla Lindberg, and she'll have that to join Sung Hyun Park at 12 under. It bears repeating, Karen. She'd never been in this position in a major championship, leading going into a round. You noted early on, as we see this swing again, some of those par saves early in the round for Pernilla that might have revealed some nerves. Don't blink, here comes Charlie Hull.
Also with the wedge, and that's kind of the story of Charlie the last few holes, just not sort of losing it, some loose shots.
Birdie 3 of her first 6 holes, no birdie since, a bogey on the last. Lindberg with a foot or so left to tie Sung Hyun Park. Park with a 64, the round of the week so far. Lindberg will join her at 12 under in a moment.
Back on the 17th tee with Lexi Thompson.
Going with 8-iron, little breeze from the right. Not many players hitting 8-iron here today. This is an aggressive line.
Oh, the key was having the distance to get it all the way there, and she did.
We go back to the 8th, and Yanni Sen, her 17th hole of the day. She needs to make this and eagle the 9th to make the cut. Well, there's part 1. 2010. Next year had a good chance to win Stacey Lewis. Nipped Yanni. To the 9th.
Jody Ewart-Shadoff, 3rd. One of those players, much like Pernilla Lindberg, that you would expect to win very soon.
And again, like Pernilla, she went from the long anchored putter to having to change to the non-anchored stroke when the rule changed. So it could just be a question of making that adjustment and finally feeling comfortable with it. Like Mo Martin has said, she's just started to feel comfortable with it.
Beautiful look at the 14th, and a 1.5 here, Kay, for a share of the lead.
If that, hard to beat a stress-free tap-in birdie. And all of these moments and all these memories are just going to keep building her foundation for more confidence.
Like what you said, she didn't have a long sleep on the lead because she played in the last pairing on Thursday and up early this morning.
She'll have more time to think about it overnight tonight into tomorrow.
Caroline Masson at the 18th, this to get to 4 under. Okay, had a really strong Sunday in Carlsbad a week ago and gets a little fist pound from Arya Jatanagarn. $15.
Lilia Vu. This one's going to go sideways. That is a really good putt.
She's good at those downhill left to righters. That's the second one we've seen her make.
And she's battled back to the cut line. So 3 holes to go. And the cut's looking pretty steady at even par. It's been that way all day.
Here's the aforementioned Stacey Lewis, the 2011 ANA Inspiration Champion. 3rd shot at the 18th. And again, her first tournament since late January, opening event of the year in the Bahamas. 15.
Pernilla Lindberg.
The bunker on the left should not be a problem for her. Ideally, she'll take it down the right center of this fairway, the part that's been mowed down grain.
This has been a hole that's played a lot easier than we would have expected today. We've seen 2 eagles, Kay.
No, this pushing it out to the right, I think this is going to find the rough.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, and when you tee up on the left side of the tee, it makes you want to play out to the right, and you better hope that you hit a draw back to the fairway.
And Michelle Wee has not found the correct part of the green at 17.
Not easy to do, Tom. Pretty decent shot here with a 7-iron. Not the fastest putt out here, uphill pretty much in general the whole way. And up to the upper tier as well, turning slightly left.
Michelle Wee has played well enough to make the cut, it looks like.
Well, you'll remember 2006 perhaps. At 16 years old, Michelle Wee led the ANA through 16 holes, but at the 18th, the Hall of Fame member, Kari Webb, did what Hall of Fame players do. She holds out for eagle. And then Wee needed to make this in the 18th to tie her. When Ochoa, who shot 62 in the opening round, forced a playoff, but Kari won it on the first extra hole and took the leap into Poppy's Pond. More memories to be made this weekend. Who knows what is ahead? Take a look at our most recent champions. Kari in 06. Tom mentioned Morgan Pressel in 07. At the time, she was the youngest ever major champion. Lincecum, a couple of victories.
And putts like that Michelle we had in the last kind of sit with you in your mind that it's the one that got away. It was so close.
Few have gotten away from Lexi.
It's for birdie though at 17.
A little downhill. Looked like she and Kevin agreed on the line, so shouldn't be any doubt there.
Well, that'll make her a little happier.
There's a resiliency there that she's showing to have gone through that tough stretch where the putts weren't going into, now finishing strong.
Jodie Hewitt Shadow's final hole of the day. This could be her final. No, it's going to be a final shot, but it is going to be a par for Jodie. Good day, 67. Her 5th time playing in the ANA Inspiration. She has had a top 10. That was in 2013 when she finished tied for 7th. She's never missed the cut here, and is in contention to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour and make it a major championship. This is the first page of the leaderboard, and look at all of the different flags we have. Jessica Korda shortly starting her second round, leading the American charge. Second at the 15th for Charlie Hull.
Got a pitching wedge in hand. Little wind helping, and this looks really good.
A little spin now, and it'll come back towards the hole.
Birdie putt for Stacey Lewis at the 18th. She'll be around for the weekend. And coming off the oblique muscle pull, 4 rounds. Important.
It is, just to get herself back into tournament form.
Over on the front nine, Amy Olsen for birdie. Yeah. Formerly Amy Anderson, she married Grant Olsen last summer. He is the assistant football coach at Indiana State. And Amy Olsen now to 6 under par, and it's the leading American here. How's the lie at 15 for Lindberg, Kay?
Second worst lie she's had today since she was in the left rough at 4, gripping a 9, just trying to power it through.
Somehow managed to get it through.
That was incredible with a capital I. I was thinking she'd try to just go up the gap in front of the green. That was really well done.
Time for our UL Innovative Shots of the Day with a capital I. At this 15th, Sung Yoon Park first. Should we start just saying this for Eagle when we get to the fairway at 15? Sung Yoon Park spins it back.
And then I think we can say perfect.
It was indeed. Took her to 12 under where she finished, and then not to be outdone, another major champion, Morgan Pressel.
There's something about this hole.
Yeah. She one-hops it in there. That might be the difference in her being around on the weekend. Our UL Innovative Shots of the Day. It was a little sluggish this morning. Didn't see a lot of birdies early from anyone, and then the moves began being made as the temperature rose.
And as the players were waking up and warming up, getting into the groove of their round, and I think we can well understand that Lindberg was a bit sort of nervous and excited those first few holes, and has really settled into a beautiful round of golf. Karen, this is one of those putts that's downhill, right to left, so she shouldn't have any issue with the speed. Just get it moving.
No, and she has been really good with these ones all day.
This for 3 birdies in a row.
She thought she had it as well. Just needed to turn a bit more, but a good 4 for Lindberg, so 4 is no problem. Says she loves desert golf, as many of the Europeans do. We talked about that earlier in the broadcast. And working hard with her coach, who is the national coach of the Swedish Federation. The Swedish Golf Federation do an awful lot for not just the amateurs, but the pros as well. A lot of facilities open to them and coaching. At the first, Ayako Uehara, who starts the day at 6 under after that 66 yesterday, just 1 back of Lindberg overnight, and she's given herself a chance to open with a birdie. She's been working with Ted O, who's coaching Lydia Ko. Now, Charlie Hull for a 3 at 15.
Virtually the same putt that Pernilla Lindberg just had. Oh, she cannot buy a putt. Made 3 birdies in the first 6 holes and nothing since.
It is a frustrating game.
It's like, how close do I need to hit it to get this ball in the hole?
12 under is a pretty stiff target there at the top of the leaderboard for those players just starting their second rounds. Players like Jessica Korda, the amateur Alban Valenzuela, Christy Kerr. She's looking for a good Friday round to be right in the hunt over the weekend.
morning wave finishing things up here. Day 2 of the A&A Inspiration. Tied with Sunghyun Park, Pernilla Lindberg at 16.
.290 to that farthest bunker down there, which is out of reach for her. And that's a dead solid perfect drive right down the middle.
The little leg kick after that one, she knew she had struck it well. She has not been in this position at a major. Sunghyun Park has. The reigning U.S. Women's Open champ is Park, and here's a look at Lindberg.
Delivers the club exactly as you should, perfectly on plane, down through, good release through the ball. And her ball speed off this drive was 148, and just to put it into perspective, Lexi Thompson's ball speed averaged yesterday at 158.
To the first.
Here we are, missing the birdie.
Does not hit the ball very far at all, but typically makes up for it around the greens, very steady, doesn't miss many fairways.
We're at the 18th, and this is Paula Creamer, and it appears she's going to have a go at this in 2.
And this doesn't surprise me, Grant, because having watched her play yesterday, she's gained some distance. She says it's about a club extra in length. She's getting it because she's allowing herself a bit more time at the top of her backswing, just a little bit more of a pause, and then she really fires through it.
Bit of a gamble on a Friday, perhaps.
It just sounded like she got the ground first.
Has a chance to scramble for par. You don't want to make a mess of this one and suddenly threaten the cut line, which is even par at the moment. Tee has been moved up today at this 18th. That's where we find the marquee pairing of Michelle Wie and Lexi Thompson. And Thompson has been one of the big stories of the day, with some missed opportunities, but still a chance here, Jerry, to salvage something in round 2.
Absolutely. To do that, she gets this tee shot in the fairway. It's a gimme birdie for Lexi. But it's an awkward angle of the fairway. It plays as a little gentle dogleg left. A little bit down breeze, tee up some 40-something yards from yesterday. So it'll be an iron in if she hits this solidly and gets it in the fairway. And that's got to take a seat to stay in the fairway on the right.
Another big hitter, Sunghyun Park, missed the fairway also to the right.
Yeah, wind's coming 4 o'clock.
Had to lay up, and she made par.
Good rhythm here.
At one point yesterday, it didn't look so good for Michelle Wie to make it to the weekend, but she has battled.
She has. There's been a big weight on both of the last 2 tee boxes. She's been sitting down in the shade on it. She'll start this one off the left side of the fairway. Little fade, and that's going to be just fine down there. A little past where Paula was. Maybe more than a little.
Yep, splitting those palm trees off the tee shot, middle of the fairway.
A chance for Michelle Wie to finish with the flourish here at the 18th. Where she has so much history. She's been playing here since she was in 8th grade. Now 28 years old this week. Check in again with our co-leader, Pernilla Lindberg.
Could not have placed the drive in a better position. Perfectly flat lie. Great angle to the hole that's located a little more on the right-hand side. 9-iron. Lovely club to have in your hand. With that lofted a club, she can be very aggressive. Much like she's been all day, laser-like with those irons.
And a chance to take the lead outright, a lead that she had after that 65, playing in the final pairing late yesterday afternoon. Another look.
And she has been solid. Contact's been good. She stays down through the ball. And just timing everything really perfectly.
To the other side of the golf course, the 6th, and this is Amy Olsen for birdie. Here it comes. Not quite enough. Had an ace a couple of weeks ago in Phoenix. Been showing some form here. She is tied for 4th place at 6 under. Bakari in the house, as is Jody Ewart-Shadoff. Korea and Sweden atop the leaderboard. England, the U.S., Spain, Japan. And Switzerland, Alban Valenzuela. Another amateur, Lucy Lee. Second round tee time, 4:46 Eastern. We'll see her in our evening coverage. Just a moment ago at the 16th, Charlie Hull for par.
And Pernilla Lindberg is going to pay close attention to this as she has virtually the same putt upcoming. And that will be a perfect teach indeed.
No birdie since the 6th hole for Charlie Hull, as you can see her scorecard there, but good save at the 16th. And now, as we look from high above here at Mission Hills Country Club, we've got Pernilla Lindberg, 31 years old, from Sweden. She has this putt to move ahead of Sung Hyun Park, who shot 64 earlier today.
I'm talking about her being sort of in uncharted territory. She's only had 8 career top 10 finishes, and most of the top players have 10 to 12 top 10s a year.
No, interestingly enough, Kay, her lowest 36-hole score was 11 under, and that was in the 2015 Manulife Classic.
In any event.
Yep.
From everything dramatic that she's done today, that was rather ho-hum.
So 12 under remains the lead. Paula Creamer in the water with her second shot. This for a watery, scrambling par 5. But she is going to play the weekend for the first time in half a year since that wrist surgery late last season. Lindbergh for par. Has not made a bogey this week.
All right, Vince is here. Watch the rake behind you.
7 birdies yesterday without a bogey. 5 more today. Lexi Thompson has laid up at the 18th. Michelle Wie is not. Waiting for the green to clear.
What's that wind doing? Anything? Those flags look like it's going this way now.
I know. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of just that help like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I do actually hear talking about those flags.
I like that. It's
But
like
still, I mean, if it's coming that way, it's going to help it cut a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's only 179 front, 199 to the hole. I didn't get a signal from Matt Galloway. This is one of her very lofted fairway woods, though, and a shot that sets up perfectly for the shot she likes to play these days. She just gets it to fade a little bit, and it is. Could catch the slope in the green and be really good.
Boy. A beauty. Collect back there just off the back of the green. She'll have that for eagle. She was 4 over for most of the day yesterday, or most of the second 9 holes.
And Michelle Wie, as Jerry said, likes to play the fade. Low, hands, a little bit of turn on the way back with her hips, more than there used to be, and now a good release follow through.
And now the third shot for Lexi Thompson.
92 yards. Frustrating to have to lay up with the wedge and then have a little wedge in.
Okay. Wow. She is going to finish where she started at 4 under par. But it will have been an eventful Friday for Lexi Thompson. And who knows?
Well, she's more than capable. The ball striking is there. Make a few more putts, and who knows what her score could be tomorrow. We've seen Sung Hyun Park put in a low number today. Lexi Thompson could do that tomorrow. And today was a little small victory, I think, for Lexi.
Indeed.
She overcame the hurdles in the middle of the round.
She's going to wind up with 33 putts for the day. A couple of 3 putts, a handful from short range. She's making that Walk of Champions, and she'll find her name on there from 2014.
And this walk with the fans is what she credits to keep spurring her on, that gives her the strength to keep rising above the situations that she's been through.
Statue of Dinah Shore. Right there at the end of the Walk of Champions. Michelle Wie has come so close, so many times. Here at the A&A, first played back in 2003 as a 13-year-old. 17.
Vanilla Lindbergh. Is the wind kicking up a little bit, Kay?
It certainly is. And mostly helping, but how much?
We don't want to go too long here. We certainly don't want to be short.
And it's such a relatively minuscule target that you're looking at to land this, to try to get somewhere close to the flagstick. Going with a 7-iron, because that wind is helping, will enable her to be a little more aggressive than if you had a club, a mid-iron.
You've got to trust it's right. You don't want to try and swing too hard and pull it. So trust your number.
bailed on it.
Oh, that's going to leave a really tricky putt. So I think it's going to feed back towards the green, towards the front of the green.
She's had a couple of those lengthy putts early in the round, but it's been some time.
Well, this won't take long. Tap in for Lexi Thompson at the 18th. And a 72. Eight shots off the lead. One more look at this third shot. Just tugged it, maybe an inch.
Just a hair.
Michelle Wie has an eagle attempt in a moment. This was almost an eagle 3 for Lexi Thompson.
There's so much history surrounding this 18th hole. Curry Webb pulled out from not too dissimilar spot.
Yeah, to beat Michelle Wie, among others.
And the players know it's possible. If they've seen it happen once, they know it's possible.
So Michelle Wie, who has battled dizziness these first couple of days, her score has been dizzying. 4 over, 1 point yesterday. Now this eagle attempt from off the back of the 18th. Or to the side, maybe.
Pretty much, well, as you could guess, based on how the second shot reacted, a little uphill and turning left the whole way. Massive amount of people gathered around this green in the stands and just standing themselves. They would be quite loud if this went in for Michelle.
That for birdie to get to 2 under. 12 under is the shared lead. We are at the par 5 second. This is Japan's Ayako Uehara. Oh, 2 good looks at birdie early here and 2 misses.
Well, and I mean, you made a good point. You start the day and you look up at the leaderboard and you see leader at 12. You want to try and keep in touch with it without pushing yourself too hard. And I think that's what Uehara's just started to do, trying to force it just a smidge.
Now the birdie putt for Michelle Wie, and we can see some of that throng, Jerry, that you were mentioning, following this marquee pairing.
Well, it grew all day, obviously, following this marquee pairing, and then as some of the other players finished that were in contention, it kept growing, and at this time of the day, it all seems to accumulate right here until the evening hours. On Sunday, it is the setting that every woman who picks up a club as a young girl dreams of being involved in here on Sunday.
For birdie. Well, that's quite a turnaround after the 75. 8 shots better today, and Michelle Wie comfortably safe for the weekend. Lexi Thompson with a tap-in birdie to shoot even par 72. Sungyud Park, Pernilla Lindberg tied for the lead.
17th hole, Pernilla Lindberg has a very tricky putt here, Kay.
It's a stout 55-footer uphill with several breaks.
That was fabulous touch. It's all coming together very well for the first 2 days, but it'll be a long break before her next tee time. It'll be about 25 hours, and she's going to have a lot of time to think about it. Now, just a reminder of how things are going to play out today. In about 10 minutes or so, we will head to our PGA Tour coverage, and then we will be back with further coverage from the ANA Inspiration, the afternoon wave. That'll be at 7 Eastern tonight on Golf Channel. Charlie Hull for a birdie.
To capitalize on that aggressive 8-iron. Wow, Tom, that's some kind of 2.
Charlie Hull to 6 under. Started the day tied for 13th. She is tied 4th. Over at the 9th, the Solheim Cup captains playing together. Julie Inkster and Katrina Matthew finishing with a birdie. If they had a little wager, the Europeans would win this one, because Inkster has not played the way that we may have expected. She is at 5 over par. Lindberg now for a par. Okay.
Just snuck that one in the right side, Tom.
In the middle at the bottom, and that's
Yes.
all that counts. And we go to the 8th.
And Amy Olsen.
Where the flag is located in the back left portion of this green, it's quite narrow.
Okay, not the ace that she had a couple of weeks ago, but very well done. Low American. Tied for 4th place at 6 under. She'll have that to join Jody Ewart-Chadoff at -7. 64 today from Sung Hyun Park. She was up to the challenge. Brought to you by Prudential. Park, who shot 68 on Thursday, had the second shot of the 7th.
And wasn't easy. Balls above her feet. Everything said it should go left. Only just slightly left of the hole.
That got her to 6 under par. Then at the 13th, talk about the strength of this 23-year-old. Showed it off here.
50 plus push-ups every morning. Pretty impressive. And that'll do it.
And then the touch to make a left to right putt. Not easy. She did it. And then, how about this display of ball striking at the 15th?
Hole location tucked tight behind the bunker on the left. Perfection.
And she was 9th on tour last year in putts per green in regulation. One of the biggest hitters as we send it down to Lisa Cornwell.
Grant, what a bounce back by Michelle Wee. I talked to you before you played today. You told us yesterday after that you were seeing multiple golf balls out there. You said your doctor said it was viral, an inner ear thing. How was your stamina? Because I know you were struggling to start.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely saw one golf ball today. That was good. And I just, sat down every chance I could. My caddy helped me a lot out there, just getting all the numbers. I asked him to read every putt for me. He just couldn't see anything. But yeah, I just am excited to go see the doctor right now and just rest for the rest of the afternoon.
When you're not feeling well and you start playing well and you get that boost of energy from the crowd, how much does that help you and sort of lift you up even when you're not really wanting to do it yourself?
Oh, for sure. My caddy just does a great job of, keeping me going, and he's like, come on, one more shot. And, it's really great when the fans kind of keep you going as well, too. They definitely give you energy out there.
All right, get some rest. Well played. Best of luck this weekend.
Safe for the weekend, Michelle Wee. Same for Lexi Thompson, who, with that tap-in birdie, shot even par 72. She's 4 under and 8 back. Today's coverage is brought to you by ANA, Inspiration of Japan. Volvic Vivid, the world's best-selling matte finish golf balls. Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable. And by Prudential, official financial services provider of the LPGA. better behave.
You got it.
It's not what you think, Harry.
At the 18th, Nelly Korda for a round of 69. Got off to a great start and a nice finish. And now she'll watch sister Jessica, who will begin the day at 5 under after the 67. Korda and Lexi Thompson both at 4 under. 12 under is the lead. There's the board. You got a little space between Park and Lindbergh and Jody Ewart-Shadoff. Amy Olsen has a putt for birdie coming up at the 8th. Alban Valenzuela tee off in a bit. NB Park, a solid 69. There's Lexi. Christy Kerr will tee off 4:30 Eastern time, which is in about half an hour. There's Jessica. Second round tee time is 9. She'll begin on the 10th. A winner already this year. He's in Thailand. And Nelly almost won the next week, trying to match what the Sorenstam sisters did many years ago. Dinah Shore standing sentinel. On the way in this morning, I heard number 10 Lullaby Lane from Dinah Shore. Crowds gathering. They just watched Wee and Thompson, and you're about to watch PGA Tour coverage from Houston. Coming up next. And then coverage later tonight from the A&A Inspiration, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock local here in the desert. Park and Lindbergh at 12 under as Lindbergh plays the par 5 18th. Lindbergh had a championship sponsored by an airline. It has kind of a ring to it. Harriet Jatanagarn, 69 today. There's Michelle Weiss, 67 to guarantee her weekend tee times. Thanks to everyone who made it possible today. Our producer, Beth Hutter, director John Del Vecchio, and the entire team. Thanks to Tom Abbott, to Jerry Foltz, to Kay Cockrell, Lisa Cornwell, my partner, Karen Stupples, Terry Gann, and Judy Rankin come in for the evening. I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the LPGA Tour. Sung Hyun Park and Pernilla Lindbergh tied for the lead at the A&A.
That angle as long as she can. More steeply. Impact area a little more steeply. In that shot a long time. She really